Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Hello and welcome to The Worst Writer in the World with myself, Rufus, and himself,
How hard?
Hamself.
Hamself, how hard? Howard Long.
Thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thanks to our lovely patrons on Patreon for paying for this show. And thanks to you for listening to this show using your time.
And your ears, your sexy ears.
Mostly your ears. Yeah. So, Howard, do you remember what has happened in the story of The Candle of Ever so far? How did it start?
It started with a second statue appearing in a space museum, causing a security guard to think he was going to be rich.
Ted, the rich security guard, yeah.
But actually what happens when a second statue appears in a museum is you get dead.
Dead and small, yes.
And small.
Yeah. But fortunately, because you're the type of alien that has a glowing head, now you can be used as a torch. So at least you're not pointless.
That's right. Anyway, who killed Ted? We think it's a murderer, but Space Dave thinks otherwise, because who should happen to turn up and get accidentally accused of murdering Ted but Doctor Who, Jamie and Zoe?
Yeah. The protagonists arrive and immediately get accused of murder. But fortunately, a man called Radar has a device that can test if someone's a murderer or not.
That's right.
And it says no. And that gave Doctor Who the chance to investigate using his devices.
Yeah.
And he's got his "Did the Master do this murder?" device.
Yeah.
And it says yes.
Yes.
They also discover from Dave that the Master has stolen the Candle of Ever. And you might think, well, that's just a candle, who cares?
Yeah.
We can probably live without one candle. But unfortunately, this is the kind of candle that must be kept lit forever, because if it goes out, loads of jelly monsters will escape from jelly dimension and, I don't know, start murdering people or whatever it is that jelly does.
As a bath in custard, I'm thinking. But
Ruin custard.
Yeah.
Ruin perfectly good custard.
And someone's made it really, really complicated to extinguish the candle, though, fortunately, because the only way to do it is to take it to the third moon of Gallifrey. No one knows where that is, because why would you know where a particular planet's moon was?
So they get in the TARDIS and they go after the Master, right? They go on a bit of a TARDIS chase, spinning around in space, right? But the Master decides to go to Skaro.
Yes.
In the hope that if he does that, the Daleks will murder Doctor Who, but not him.
Yeah.
So they arrive there. Doctor Who and Radar go to investigate the Master's TARDIS using their Tasmada to find him, right? Lucky they've got that. But they leave Jamie and Zoe in Doctor Who's TARDIS where they'll be safe. Unless, really unfortunately, a load of Daleks turn up with some explosives and attach it all around the outside of the TARDIS. And, like, obviously that might not be a real problem unless when Jamie and Zoe call Doctor Who and say, there's a load of stuff outside the TARDIS, should we be worried? Doctor Who says, no, don't worry, it's probably plants. You know, on primitive planets, when you land there, plants start wrapping themselves around you. That's really normal, okay? So just relax, guys.
It's probably just some plants putting bombs all over the TARDIS.
It'll be fine.
Be fine.
All right. So, shall we get on with the next and final section of the story, Howard?
Oh, the final section. Oh, I'm so sad, but I'm also so excited to find out how it ends.
I hope no one drops a corpse on Doctor Who's head. All right, let's get started, shall we?
Yes, please.
So Jamie and Zoe are in the TARDIS, in Doctor Who's TARDIS. Doctor Who and Radar have been investigating the Master and his TARDIS, and they've been talking to each other on CB radio.
Wow.
So, let's see where we are in that little situation, shall we?
Yes, please.
Right, thanks, Doctor, bye. Yes, bye, Doc, came a Scottish voice. Bye-bye, Zoe. Bye-bye, Jamie. And then the next line is, they all fuzzed off. They all fuzzed off. And after saying bye, they all fuzzed off. Good. The Doctor replaced the receiver in his pocket and walked over to Radar's legs.
What? His legs.
Radar's legs.
Radar's legs. Have you seen the rest of Radar? They didn't answer because they couldn't speak.
Okay, the Doctor replaced the receiver in his pocket and walked over to Radar's legs, which protruded from a cupboard door.
Oh, God.
From a cupboard door. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
All right,
that
now
means
there's
his legs
another-
are actually sticking out of the door.
Another great Doctor Who line. Just you really got the. I think you really captured the essence of Doctor Who with the way he speaks. I'm just nipping off to see if Zoe and Jamie are getting on all right. You don't mind, do you? No, of course not. I'll be fine, came the muffled response. Sorry. No, of course not. I'll be fine, came the muffled response. Right. Goodbye then.
Yeah, just turn his crazy goodbye now.
A lot of this is not necessary. Yeah. Just go say goodbye. I'm going to let you guess.
Okay, I'll go over here. Goodbye. See you later. I am just nipping over here to do a thing. Will you be okay here on your own? Yeah, I'll be fine. Okay, goodbye then. Goodbye.
That is basically what happens.
Good.
Right. Goodbye then, Radar. See you in a short while. Goodbye. The Doctor left the tree-shaped TARDIS and went in search of his own.
Yes, now I will say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye, K9. Goodbye, Master. Goodbye, Leela. What is this goodbye of which you speak, Doctor Who? Goodbye, Sarah Jane. But Doctor, how can you say goodbye? Goodbye, I don't know, Adric. I'll never know what 2 + 2 equals now, will I, Doctor Who?
No, Andrew's not allowed any lines, is he? That's,
No,
as we know from
That's so good.
Black Orchid.
No, they only figured that out later on when they realised that everyone hated him.
So just let him stand there in some scenes and say nothing. Not everyone hates him, because I told you those two idiots that I saw on Facebook saying...
Not everyone hates Colin Baker, and there's a million of those idiots. Doesn't mean he's good.
Yeah, two people on Facebook who were disagreeing with each other strongly about Doctor Who, really like having a fight about, like, one of them thought it should be this way and the other one thought it should be that way. But the one thing they did agree on was that they should bring Adric back because he's amazing.
Yeah. Whatever characteristics Adric had in Doctor Who, which weren't many, will not exist anymore now. He's an old decrepit man. So bring back that guy that was, you know, his main defining feature was he was 12.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second, they wouldn't even recognise him.
No.
Apart from the fact he'd be wearing those same pyjamas and with a gold badge on, and he'd be trying to look ad.
Is that why he's called Adric?
Oh God! I fucking hope so.
Is his real name Rick? He's actually Richard.
Yeah.
But like after he got that gold maths badge, they changed his name to Adric.
Yeah, and it's like that was his particular talent. His brother Fred was good at dividing.
Yeah, divide Fred.
And then it was minus Pete.
Cool.
Long division John.
All right, so 2 red Daleks and a grey Dalek were patrolling. Yes, they were patrolling.
Patrick Troughton rolling.
Yeah, section C1.
They were rolling Pat around the room.
Leave me alone, he said.
In his Tom Baker voice.
They were just about to head back to base when they stopped abruptly at the sound of rustling. Their eye sticks began to swivel around the surrounding area. A creature with legs was approaching. A biped by the sound of it. It would be an ogron or a thal. A thal.
Oh.
Or a thal. the Daleks raised their gun sticks. My gun stick is raised.
Mine is raised more. I win.
They raised their gun sticks. They were now at the ready. Seconds later, the Doctor tramped out from behind a thick clump of trees and bushes.
Tramped out.
Though he was old, he reacted quickly, drawing his sonic lance from a waistcoat pocket.
He's got a sonic lance.
Apparently, yeah.
Brilliant.
The Daleks' guns blazed away. The Doctor mirrored the fire with the sonic lance, so that a red Dalek was destroyed.
He's got. I invented shooting Daleks way before Stephen Moffat did. Then.
Well, it's a sonic lance. He says it's mirrored them, so he's actually like bouncing it off. Basically, what he's got is a lightsaber. Yes. Isn't it? A sonic lance is clearly a lightsaber, which he's like deflecting the shots back onto the Daleks.
That's it. And this is 1990, so this is way before Star Wars Phantom Menace.
Absolutely. Well done.
Right.
Okay, tramped from behind a clump of trees.
Years. That's why it's...
Yeah, it all makes sense. The Doctor ran for cover, dodging the hail of laser. The weather's changed quite dramatically, and only just escaping death. Oh, he's turned up too. He now knew that Zoe and Jamie were probably in great danger.
Right.
Somehow, he's worked out it's not a plant.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is not one of those wrappy round plants. It is a Dalek.
Yeah.
I should have known that since we came to Skaro.
Yeah. A Dalek has wrapped itself round the TARDIS. That's quite normal too.
Well, I really have destroyed your Tom Baker impression.
That is what happens on primitive planets.
Okay. So, in great danger. Somehow, he had to get to them. Mm-hmm. But first, he would have to deal with the Daleks. He could not use the sonic lance again, as he might not be as lucky next time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
What? So basically, he believes that if something works once, you should never use it again, just in case it doesn't work a second time. Yeah. Then he had an idea. Oh, the Daleks were not very advanced.
Right, okay.
Because they were made of wood. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Dalek. Just like rolling along, kind of like I don't know.
No, they haven't even got wheels yet. Yeah. They have to stay still.
The actual plungers.
The Daleks were not very advanced, he knew, because they hadn't got any wheels and therefore had to stay still.
Yeah.
Okay, no, the Daleks were not very advanced, he could tell, because they were more easily destroyed than the ones he had met recently.
Right.
So these were probably the originals. The original Daleks followed orders that were transmitted to them. If they were doing something very important that would save their own life, and they received a message to go and slaughter a few and they received a message to go and slaughter a few Thals. Yeah, I know. I think I'm thinking of Thailand, and that's what I see when I see it.
Yeah, they're not from Thailand. No?
If they were doing
Thais,
if they were doing
Thailand,
something very important that would save their own life, and they received a message to go and slaughter a few Thais, and a few Thals, they would stop what they were doing and follow orders.
This important thing that they're doing to save their own life.
Yeah. And so the Dalek would probably die.
Right. So if what they were doing was not dying, and they got an order to go and do something else, they'd die. Yeah,
basically. Yeah. So this is all quite a complicated thought he's having. Now, if he could tap into the correct wavelength...
Right. ...
Yeah. So basically he's saying, firstly he's got to get them into a situation where they're doing something which stops them from dying, and then he's got to distract them from stopping themselves from dying. Yeah. So that they die.
Right.
Rather than just kill them. Which should be a more direct way.
Just shooting them in the Dalek, basically. I will shoot them in the Dalek. But I will
while they are stopping me from shooting them in the Dalek, I will distract them. So Doctor Who is making his way through the forest back to his own TARDIS to see what's going on with Jamie and Zoe. But he's encountered some Daleks.
Oh no.
But it's okay, because he's come up with an amazing plan. right, of how to deal with them, which is that if a Dalek is doing something that stops it from dying, like, I don't know, like holding a rope that suspends an anvil over its own head or something, right?
Yeah.
But then you distract it with an order to go and kill some Thals,
Yeah.
right? Then it will stop holding the rope and it will drop the anvil on its own head and die.
Right.
So that's Doctor Who's plan.
That's going to require finding a load of Daleks with anvils over their heads, though, right?
I mean, he's in danger from some very specific Daleks.
Right.
So, but he has got a time machine. So I suppose what he's got to do is he's got to get in his time machine and go back to just before this moment and organise that.
Yeah, and say, hold this, would you?
Of course, anything to help you, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And then he'll be okay.
Oh, good.
So that's his plan. Let's see how he gets on with that. Okay, so the Daleks were getting very close to the Doctor. Tell me more about your problems, Doctor.
I like you. I like you too, Dalek. Let us hug now.
Yes. No, while I shoot you, would you like to go and kill some Thals?
Why don't you take off that armour so I can hug your greenness inside?
Okay, so the Daleks were getting very close to the Doctor. He started working frantically with his sonic lance.
What?
Yeah, he said that wasn't going to work. No, he's working frantically with his sonic lance.
What the fuck is it?
Sonic screwdriver, radar's radio receiver, and a few other electrical items.
A calculator.
Yeah, here is my kettle.
Yeah. This is a Breville maker. I will confuse them with toasted cheese sandwiches. What is this cheese?
Yeah, I have failed. Self-destruct.
Yeah, that's what it should say. The Doctor knew that if
they thought they had
failed at something, they would blow themselves up. So he should have set them a task.
Yeah, so he whispered. Yeah, so he gave them a Rubik's cube.
Yeah.
And not having hands,
Yeah.
they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I have failed.
Or he said to them, like, what is 5 plus 5? And without having Adric there to add those two numbers together, the Daleks just blew up.
Okay, so working frantically with his sonic lance, sonic screwdriver, radar's radio receiver, and a few other electrical items.
Just lying around in the forest.
Yeah.
I will use this electric tree, and this electric plant, and this electric bit of ground.
And this electric squirrel.
And this electric Dalek.
Yeah, they are the only electrical items hanging around.
They are, aren't they?
Okay.
So using his sonic, well, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because he's definitely going to be using the Dalek in
that's
this
what
equation because he's
So
blowing
he's
them
using
up.
a sonic lance, sonic screwdriver, and a Dalek.
Yeah, to blow up the Dalek. Yeah.
The Grey Dalek was now getting very close to the Doctor's hiding place.
Yeah.
Well, the Doctor whispered to himself, It's now or never. He pressed a button and
Okay.
nothing. It didn't work. Oh dear, 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 dear.
It's probably because he neglected to attach that button to all these other electrical
items that he was using.
He's
Yeah.
pressing a button on his coat or something.
The Grey Dalek glided round the tree. It's a new ability they've got. They don't sound that primitive.
I will use my glided around tree capabilities. It's gliding. Damn it, that Dalek is gliding. That's the last thing I expected.
So the Grey Dalek glided around the tree, saw the Doctor, raised the gun stick once again, and ...
Fucking hell.
stopped.
Oh, there's not the end of the episode.
No, there's
Okay.
no. It turned and headed off back to base.
Oh, he's won. He's
The
done it.
red Dalek behind it.
Yeah.
Phew, said the Doctor, and fainted.
What?
The Doctor just fainted
Oh.
at the end of a section. Phew, sighed the Doctor, and fainted. Right, so Jamie and Zoe are trapped inside the TARDIS because the Daleks put a brick outside. Right? And they cannot escape the TARDIS. And Doctor Who has been on his way back to the TARDIS to help. Jamie and Zoe were very glad when 10 minutes later the smiling face of the Doctor peered through the scanner at them. He waved and then got down to work.
I'm just going to masturbate out here for a while.
Watch me on the scanner. Using his trusty sonic screwdriver. Fondling his trusty sonic screwdriver, he soon had the doors gliding open.
I will glide your doors open with my screwdriver.
Yeah. He entered, greeted the pair. He had a
What a lovely pair. I am going to greet you.
hello, and hello to you.
And how are you, Jamie, as well?
So he greeted the pair. He had a lot to tell them.
You are lovely. You are so beautiful. I like touching you and jiggling you about. And I like you too, Jamie.
Radar crawled out of a wardrobe.
That's not what it says.
I'd just like to say, listen, I'm not skipping anything here. I'm reading exactly what it says. There's a whole sentence. There's no extra. It just says radar. It's the beginning of a new section.
Okay, so it's a new section though.
Radar crawled out of a wardrobe.
It's not like Doctor Who like said, oh, you've got a lovely pair, and then Radar crawled out of a wardrobe. He's suddenly in the
All
toilet.
right, sadly no. He was surprised to see a pair of black boots there to meet him. He was even more surprised to find they were connected to legs. Really?
Hold on, that's the least surprising bit.
That's the way you get less. You should say he was less surprised to find out that there weren't actually boots there to meet him. It was a person wearing boots, which is quite normal.
That is so loud, that creak.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So he was surprised to see a pair of black boots there to meet him. Fair enough. Yeah. He was even more surprised to find they were connected to legs.
Weird.
Yeah. Which in turn were connected to a body.
Okay.
Still quite normal. Shoulders and a neck.
Oh, Christ.
On which was propped a head.
Oh, it's like, I couldn't be more surprised today. First of all, I thought it was fucking a pair of boots.
No, it's just a pair of legs.
And then it had legs in it.
Oh my god, it's just a pair of legs with a body but no
legs
head.
on a body?
But then I looked up and there's a head. What a surprise.
What a surprise.
Actually, when I realised there was a head, that's when it stopped being surprising.
I thought, oh, there's a person, yeah. What it should say is Dennis Quaid got out of the cupboard and saw a person and was like, oh, there's a person, and was not surprised.
Yeah, well, he might have been a bit surprised because he wasn't expecting a person, but it didn't last long, and it certainly wasn't a succession of increasing surprise.
The surprise should have been the idea that, like, you know, there was someone there when he wasn't expecting one, not the fact that it was a full human rather than just a bit of one, or something they would wear.
He's going through increasing surprise as he moves his eyes up the body from the boots. He's like, boots, legs, body, head.
Oh, it's a person.
Oh, it's all right. On which was propped a head. And
propped.
And
it's not even like connected. Yeah. It's just there.
Balanced head.
It's going to fall off any moment.
That's why it's surprising.
Okay,
it's not a person. Yeah. It's a collection of limbs balanced on top of each other.
Yeah, they're probably the wrong way round.
Yeah. On which was propped an upside-down head. And the Master's leering face. The Master spat at Radar and fired his gun.
No.
In a few minutes of seemingly endless pain and agony, Radar was dead. Reduced to no more than a surprised-looking doll. It just shot Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That was a very ignoble death. He got out of a cupboard. He was in a cupboard.
He was in a cupboard.
And he got out of
which is so kind of
he was in a cupboard and he got out of the cupboard and now the Master shot him and he was in a cupboard, he got out of a cupboard, was surprised by the various parts of the Master's body being on top of each other as they normally are.
Yeah.
And then he got shot to dead. After the Doctor had told his tale, the three companions had started
Told his tale what?
Told his tail to stop following him. Stop following me, tail. Every time I turn around, there you are. The three companions had started thinking about the problem that now faced them. That's what that means, not the three companions. It's the two companions and the Doctor, who are all companions of each other.
He's a companion of each other. Yeah,
right, okay. A little bit confusing, but it's okay.
The three Doctor Who and the three companions.
They started thinking about the problem that now faced them. Somehow they had to get rid of the Dalekanium. Can we not let it explode? After all, you said the TARDIS was indestructible.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. What's the Doctor got to say about that?
He says, well, seeing as it would explode if we tried to remove it, I can't take it into a time loop, and I can't land inside my he-portal watch.
What? Do what?
He says, I can't take it into a time loop, and I can't land inside my he-portal watch. That's what it says.
What?
It seems you may be right.
Land in a he-portal watch?
It seems you may be right, Jamie, but we shall have to stand far away.
What?
Well, I don't know. See if you understand what that says. He-portal.
Have to stand far away. That's on my he-portal watch. I can't take it into a time loop. And why has it got to take it into a time loop anyway? Why do you have to remove it? Jamie's just said the TARDIS is indestructible. Just let it explode. Wow.
Yeah, that seems to be the end of that conversation, doesn't it?
Well, seeing as it would
wait.
explode if we tried to remove it. I'm not trying to say we remove it.
Just wait until it explodes,
because
and
the
then
TARDIS is indestructible.
then it's exploded, and then we fly off in the TARDIS.
Yeah, but I can't take it into a time loop, and
I'm not suggesting that you do that, Doctor Who.
I can't, and I cannot land inside my He Portal watch.
No one mentioned a He Portal watch.
I'm sorry.
Doctor Who.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't even
Jamie.
know what one is.
I thought you said, "Why don't we go and land inside a He Portal watch?" Did you not say
In a
that?
time loop. No, I didn't say that,
Yes,
Doctor
I'm pretty
Who.
sure you said, "Let's go through a time loop."
I never
and
said
land
any
in my
such
He
thing,
Portal
Doctor
watch.
Who. Doctor, do you think you could just move the TARDIS to the east about half a mile?
East?
Back on that again.
Good.
Where the sofa is?
Yeah.
Asked Zoe. Yes, why do you ask? Well, it's just that there is a Dalek army headed from that direction. Right. The Dalek army consisted of a lot of Daleks.
Good. Yes.
Oh my god, I think we should pause here because that may be the best line that anyone's ever written ever.
You think?
The Dalek army consisted of a lot of Daleks.
Yeah.
I imagine that in any other situation. You'd say like the German army consisted of a lot of Germans.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but no, there's sense here from the point of view of a 10-year-old child, because the thing is, like, a Dalek army doesn't have to have a lot of Daleks, because a
be
single
Ogrons.
Dalek
Oh, it is an army.
is an army in itself, isn't it? But this on this particular occasion, that's how I'm explaining it.
Well,
away.
I think a lot
But
of the time,
mostly because I was an idiot.
yeah, a lot of the time you're explaining things that you, for some reason, don't realise don't need to be explained, like what an army is.
Yeah, that is why that is there. But
Yeah.
I can explain that away as an adult and say like
that's
that.
good.
The reason is because a Dalek army doesn't have to contain a lot of Daleks. It can be one
It can
Dalek.
be one, like in Dalek in the new Doctor Who with
Yeah.
Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
He was terrified of one Dalek
He does,
because he knows
and
that
they
it's
say something along the lines of like he only needs one Dalek to destroy everywhere. But only for this episode. As soon as we get back to having lots of Daleks, they won't be able to do shit.
yeah.
One Dalek is definitely better than lots of Daleks.
Yeah,
One Dalek's definitely always
One
does
Dalek was great,
Yeah.
and lots of Daleks often quite boring.
They're rubbish. They can't
Yeah.
do anything. They're useless. But I think what the problem is that they because they take so long to say a sentence and they have to talk to each other.
And they have to say exterminate 12 times before they actually exterminate.
By the time they
anyone.
finish whatever it is they're on about, they've been,
They're all
defeated.
dead. They've all died of old age.
One Dalek, no other Daleks to talk to, just goes around shooting everyone.
Yeah, good point, yeah. Doesn't have to explain its plans over about 4 hours to all its friends.
Shall I
Daleks.
go over here? Yes, go over there.
Yeah, one Dalek just goes over there.
Just goes there.
All right, so Dalek army.
So the Dalek
yeah.
army consisted of
A lot of Daleks, yeah.
How many?
The 2 Daleks that the Doctor had sabotaged.
2?
No, this
That's
is
not a lot.
Sorry, this is a different idea. The 2 Daleks that the Doctor had sabotaged
All right.
had given their report, and the Supreme Dalek had ordered an army to kill the enemy, which was obviously the Doctor in a new form. The Daleks had seen 2 already.
What?
Oh no, Doctor number 2, I think. It's the tall chap with a mop of thick brown hair, and the old, long, white-haired man with the pointed nose. This time, however, the Supreme Dalek was going to make sure that he didn't escape, and so had taken no chances. I think the text has caught up with my reading of it.
No,
The text knows that it's Doctor Who number 4 now, because it's saying they've seen 1 and 2 before, but they haven't seen number 4. That's a bit weird. I'm a bit scared by that, actually.
it's because the Daleks on Skaro had met William Arnold and then they met Tom Baker because Tom Baker does Genesis for the Daleks.
Oh,
but,
I'd seen 2 before, but not 1 and 2.
Yeah, they haven't met Patrick. It's suggesting that the
Oh,
Daleks.
the tall chap with the little thick of brown hair, that's Tom Baker Doctor Who, not
meet Tom-
Patrick Troughton.
They've met Tom Baker Doctor and
Oh, I
they've
thought that
met
was
William
Patrick
Arnold.
Troughton. Okay. The leading Black Dalek
Right, yeah.
saw the Doctor fiddling with the Dalekanium. The leading Black Dalek saw the Doctor fiddling with the Dalekanium, then enter the TARDIS. A bit of verb disagreement there. Quick, ordered the Black Dalek. Set off the explosives now! The Ogron that carried the detonator flicked a switch, and a 5-second countdown began.
Why?
You're building tension here.
Were you not
Quick!
listening? I said quick.
In 5 seconds.
Set off the countdown. Do the explode now button.
In those 5 seconds, the Black Dalek saw 3 people run from the police box, the police box disappear, and then reappear right in the middle of the army. Then the Dalek and all the others knew no more.
I don't understand why they're like,
got out of the TARDIS.
They get out and then it goes
indestructible.
and explodes.
Yeah, they should just stay in it.
They're like
do that exactly.
yeah.
That's a good plan. Blow up the Daleks because the Dalekanium is outside and it won't hurt the TARDIS. But stay in the TARDIS.
It's like I've not really understood the concept of indestructible as a child.
You thought that means it'll kill everyone inside it for no reason.
It's like it's indestructible on the outside, but on the inside, it's like it's more deathly on the inside than it is on the out. Doctor Who. Yes, Romana.
That is.
Sorry, Tegan Jovanka. Yes, if I explode my Dalek, not my Dalek. He didn't travel around the time.
Yes, I am Doctor Who. I travel around in a Dalek.
It stands for dime and relative.
I mentioned in case.
In case. Yeah, I'm obviously thinking that if you explode the TARDIS, you
kill the people inside, even though the TARDIS, the
TARDIS will remain. It will blow everything up, but the TARDIS will be fine. But anyone inside, anyone outside, it will explode.
Otherwise, it's a stupid plan. Otherwise, isn't it? Because they basically they haven't got a TARDIS to protect them. They're just standing in a forest.
They think that the TARDIS explodiates stuff that isn't the TARDIS, so they're not part of the TARDIS. So they'll die. So.
But everything, all the stuff in it, like the plants and the clothes and whoever's in the cupboards, will be fine.
and apparently there's a lot of people in the cupboards.
Yeah. After the smoke had cleared, Dalek bases, slime, and an intact TARDIS stood in the patch of open ground. Okay, Dalek bases, I thought that meant like there where they lived, but it means like the bottom of a Dalek, doesn't it? It does. Okay, so Dalek bottoms,
the wheels of the Daleks,
slime, and an intact TARDIS.
What does that mean though? Slime?
That's the Daleks themselves, isn't it? The slime that's inside a Dalek. Sometime later, the Doctor, Zoe, and Jamie arrived to view the scene. Suddenly, evil and manic laughter filled the air.
Evil filled the air as well as manic laughter.
Yeah. And a small bundle dropped from the skies.
Small bungle?
Yeah.
Oh, Jeffrey!
Next section.
Why am I so small, Jeffrey?
Next section. In the TARDIS, a few hours later, the three companions were still mourning over the loss of their friend.
The small...
Oh, Dave. No.
The small bundle must be Radar.
Oh, Radar,
basically,
not Radar. Yeah.
The Master's hovered around in his tree in the middle of the sky, dropped the corpse of Radar.
Okay.
It's wrong that I should understand what's going on here, but
it's right. You wrote it. If anyone understands,
I wrote it when I was 10, and I haven't.
All right, you wrote it 47 years ago.
I've not read it yet. Well, I haven't read it.
Okay. This is something we should point out, perhaps, that neither of us read this before we started recording. I've never read it before, and Howard presumably read it once.
No.
Just after writing it.
You've got high expectations of me as a writer, really, haven't you?
Yeah.
No, I just write stuff.
Okay,
and that's it. Full
so
stop.
Neither of us have ever read this.
In fact, we're the first people to ever hear it, apart from Mr. Cotton, I suppose.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Okay, so in the TARDIS, a few hours later, the three companions were still mourning over the loss of their friend. All that remained of him was his squat, disfigured body, his radio equipment, tracking system, and a battery-powered element for making tea. That's the kettle.
It was a kettle, then.
Yeah. That joke I was making earlier about a water heating pod, that is what you've just said, a battery-powered element.
What it should say is like they were still mourning over the death of their good friend. All that remained was his skull, a master-killing device, and transport you to exactly where the master is machine.
Yeah, they used these and killed the master at the end.
At the end.
Well, we are almost there. We're almost there. We're on the last page. Okay, so here we go. So, making tea. Doctor, how can water stay on the surface of a planet that has no gravity? Inquired Zoe. More to the point, how is it possible to have a planet with no gravity? Because, planets are what create gravity.
Well, it's a moon. She just doesn't know what the difference between a moon and a planet is.
No, but, even the moon has gravity. Everything has gravity.
What does if you've got a tea-making device? That's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should we have some gravity, or would you like some chamomile tea? I will have gravity, please.
I would like regular tea.
I don't want my tea floating off out of my fucking mug. Gravity. Tea in mug. Doctor Who likes tea in mug. Gravity.
Okay. So that's what she inquired. Well, Gallifrey's moons are all very strange. There are 4 altogether. One supports just fire. Another supports air. So you can breathe normally on that one. Another can support just Earth.
So you can dig on that one and plant stuff.
Earth. The other one's, I mean, it's a moon. It's got to be made of something. No, this one is made of air. So, Doctor, it's just basically it's a ball of air.
Yes.
In space.
So
Yes.
you can breathe in that ball of
You
air.
can breathe in space as long as you are in the ball. Okay, so another one supports air, so you can breathe normally. Another one supports just Earth, and ours supports water.
Right.
Supports. I wonder what you mean by supports here.
It's like
Has
you know,
it?
it's its team. You know, it's like
I like water.
go water.
Yeah. Okay, so if you tried digging a hole on your moon, Zoe, the Earth would float away.
Sounds so much like Darth Vader. It's amazing.
If you tried digging a hole on your moon, Zoe, the Earth would float away, but on our moon, it would fall to the ground. What? If you tried digging a hole on your moon, Zoe, the Earth would float away,
right?
but on our moon, it would fall to the ground.
Wait a second. I want to what? If you tried,
no idea.
If you tried
I
digging,
am lost. That is. I mean, a lot of this has been confusing, but that sentence has gone beyond me.
Well, that's because I've got into actual facts now.
No, you haven't.
And I don't
You've
understand
left
them.
facts behind.
No, but I'm trying to explain how the moon works at this point.
But you know,
Well, it's a big rock, isn't it?
but there's like dust and stuff. The dust doesn't float away.
Why doesn't it then?
Well, because of gravity keeping it and nothing.
So it has
pushing
gravity on the moon,
But if
then?
everything that. You have gravity. Everything that
No, I
has
haven't
physical
got any gravity.
You do. Everything has gravity. Everything that exists, including us, it's just that we have so little gravity that things don't get attracted to us.
Yeah, okay.
But we do have a little bit because
Yeah,
we
the moon's
exist.
got some, but it's not got as much as we have here on Earth.
It's not as good. So when we go there, we have a different weight because there's not as much gravity holding us on, so we can like jump more, but we don't float away into space.
Jump more.
Yeah,
I'm going,
jumping
let's
is
go
better.
there then.
Yeah, totally.
Brilliant. Because you know that's what I want out of life. More jumping.
More jumping. Absolutely. But what Doctor Who seems to be saying is that some moons have gravity and others don't, irrespective of size. So if you dig a hole on a gravity with no moon...
On a moon with no gravity?
Yeah. No, if you dig a hole on a gravity with no moon, then that's just weird. So what you're doing... If you dig a hole on a moon with no gravity, then the bit of the moon that you just dug just goes away.
Well,
into
you know,
space.
obviously, like Zoe comes from a different planet that isn't Earth, even though she definitely comes from Earth. And her moon has no gravity, and therefore it stays there because it's attached by a string.
by glue.
And if
It's glued
you
on.
dig an hole in a string-controlled planet, then that bit of Earth floats off.
Yeah, if you cut the string.
Yeah, the
then it
whole,
goes
the whole
away.
thing
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, fair enough.
But on his planet,
very small
but
planet.
on his moon, specifically the water moon, if you dig a hole, then it just drops back down again.
No, but apparently on the water moon, if you dig a hole in the Earth, then the Earth floats away.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to the water. He hasn't mentioned it.
Yes.
But yeah,
They've got 4 different moons. They've got Earth, Aya, wind,
that's
and
what
thing.
That's what I'm wondering about.
Earth,
wind and thing.
They got Earth, Aya, wind.
Earth,
and
wind
thing.
and thing. Yeah.
Let's go to the Aya planet.
When it comes to our moon, if it's got like dust or light rocks on it, they would only float away if something caused them to. So a person
Like
picking them up, Doctor Who picking them up and throwing them off,
That's
then
what
they
it
would
means.
float
Then
away.
that's what it means. Yeah. On your planet, on your moon, Zoe, when you dig out rocks, I throw them into the sky, and then do not come back. But when I dig a rock on my moon, I don't do that because I'm like, why would I do that? I'm Doctor Who. I've got better things to be doing than throwing rocks into space.
Right, so Jamie and Zoe and Doctor Who are in the TARDIS chasing the Master. The Master has the Candle of Ever, and he's going somewhere special to put it out. And Doctor Who just explained gravity to Zoe. And I was thinking about this, okay. I think the reason this is there is because young Howard thought there was no gravity on the moon, right? Like just zero gravity.
Yeah.
And so when he was writing this, he was like, oh no, hang on, that's going to cause a plot problem because I've created a moon that you have to go to where there's the only water that can put out the Candle of Ever.
Yeah.
But if there's no gravity on a moon, the water will float away.
Yes.
Right,
That's
so
true.
young Howard had to come up with a bit of in-story science to stop that water floating away, and so young Howard invented gravity. Right, but with a twist. He invented very specific gravity that only holds one thing on a planet, and those things are water, fire, air, and ground.
Yeah, ground.
Right. So, and if only young Howard had known that moons do have gravity, or actually, I mean, that would have been a tragedy, because then we never would have got this wonderful explanation where young Howard invented gravity.
If moons had gravity, then Neil Armstrong wouldn't have to wear those big heavy boots, would he? They wear the big boots with lead soles so they don't float away. Because when they push off, they float, but then like
A bit, but then
the
they
gravity
come back down again.
of the shoe gravity brings them back down again.
And as we've all seen here today, old Howard hasn't really progressed in his understanding of gravity from young Howard. But let's all celebrate the wonderful section where Doctor Who explained gravity. Completely unnecessarily, and also got it wrong. All right, so let's return to the story and see what's happening with this exciting chase. Suddenly, once again, the TARDIS landed.
Okay.
Where are we now?
Don't listen to this man about anything anymore. He's shown a complete lack of knowledge of anything.
He's going to get better now because he
thinks
says, "Where are we now?" We're here.
Oh God!
This is Gallifrey's third moon.
It's like she's like she never kind of like pulled him up on anything. She goes like, "Oh, how is that possible, Doctor Who?" And he's like, "Well, because when you glue this thing to this other thing,
glue occurs.
Space happens." I was like, hold on a second. I'm pretty sure when I was at school.
Those were just words. They didn't mean anything.
No. Your school is wrong. School on Gallifrey knows better.
I am Doctor Who.
Yes.
I know better. All right, so back to the story.
Yeah.
We are here. This is Gallifrey's third moon, remarked the Doctor excitedly.
Okay.
Quickly now, let's moving. Quickly now, let's moving.
That's Moonving.
A few minutes later, the trio emerged from the TARDIS in their spacesuits.
That's that trio again.
Yeah, they're back. In the distance, they could see the Master searching for the pool. They immediately started looking for it as well.
Oh.
It was the Doctor who first came across the silvery water. He knelt down to examine it. "Good day, Doctor," said a voice from behind him. "Fancy seeing you here."
Oh, good.
The Doctor glared at the Master, who stood, arms crossed, with an air of superiority about him. The short, comic tramp looked very helpless next to the Master, with his face looking with his face looking beat and his hands behind his back.
What?
Yeah, it says with his face looking beat
His face looking beat.
and his hands behind his back. The Master liked this. He liked the thought that this incarnation of the Doctor was beaten
Okay.
and
But
knew it.
I think Doctor Who's got his hands behind his back because he's maybe like scooped up some silvery water or something. He's gonna lob
Or
it.
he's got his sonic lance and
Yeah,
he's
he's
going to have
probably
a
got that,
lightsaber fight.
And he's going
with
to
the
do
Master.
whatever it is a Sonic Lance does when he needs it to.
Lightsaber fight,
To
definitely.
be fair, my Sonic Lance is like the Sonic Screwdriver,
Yeah,
isn't it? It's like,
nowadays,
you know,
yeah.
So what? It just whatever it
Whatever
says.
you want it to do. Kills people, deflects things, yeah.
It's deflecting Dalek. Set to deflect Dalek setting.
The Daleks were deflected by the sonic lance.
We have been deflected. Self-destruct.
They flew off into space because there was no gravity. So the Master liked this, and he liked the thought that this incarnation of the Doctor was beaten and knew it.
Did he like it in a Facebook sentence? Did he press a thumb?
Yeah, he's liked it.
And the Doctor Who gets a message saying, the Master likes this.
Someone has liked my post, said the Doctor. Stand aside, ordered the Master. Why? Asked the Doctor innocently. Because it is my command. We don't all have to do what you tell us. You do, or you will die.
Oh.
I thought I was going to die anyway. This is another great conversation.
Yeah. Picking up the idiot Master on the
Yeah.
fact that he's a twat because I wrote him. Yeah, you seem like you were written by a
an
rubbish
idiot.
writer. I was. It was you. Yes, that's why I'm trapped as well.
Let me tell you about moon gravity. I am an expert. We have 4 moons. One of them has water gravity. One of them has fire gravity.
If you dig fire on that moon, it will
floats
float away.
All right.
Okay.
So
We're so near the end. Let's
Yeah,
not
we're
interrupt
very
that.
close. I thought I was going to die anyway. Yes, probably. The Master raised his gun. I hear it is very nice in Alpha Centauri this time of year.
What?
What? Asked the Master.
Okay, fair enough.
As he reholstered his gun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, he really is an idiot.
It's like the Master loves nothing more than talking about the weather. And Alpha Centauri's like, hold on a second, I'll put my gun away now.
Yeah,
And
he's not gonna be-
okay. Hold on a second, I will put my gun away.
While we talk about the weather in other planets.
Yes.
What? Asked the Master as he reholstered his gun. And Beetlejuice's 5 pink suns are really roaring. But what? Beetlejuice doesn't have 5 suns. It has 7, and they're not pink. Then the Master realised something. The Doctor was playing for time. Well done, Master. You really thought that one out, didn't you? He's fucking genius.
Yes, that's right. I used the name of 2 planets I heard from Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy.
Absolutely.
Only planets I heard of, apart
Yes.
from Gallifrey. And word moon. And can say it, if you dig it, it flies off. Because
if you dig it, it will
fly off.
So the Master's finally worked out that the Doctor, when he's about to shoot the Doctor, and the Doctor suddenly starts talking about weather, that he might be playing for time.
Right.
But why? He looked around. But why? You're about to kill him. Oh, what? But why would he possibly want to stop you from killing him? It's a mystery. I have no idea why the Doctor wants to stop me from shooting him in the face.
Perhaps he wants to be alive.
No, that can't be it. He looked around. Those 2 meddling companions were nowhere in sight.
Oh.
They would be no problem. Then he saw it.
What?
Steam was rising from the Doctor's head. I don't know if I think maybe I have started making it up and I don't even realise. Like, maybe I'm just imagining these words, because I don't think that can possibly be what happens next in this story.
Well, no, I mean, it's been foreshadowed, I feel, because there was the glowing heads in the earliest chapters.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense that the Doctor is like
steamy head
caught whatever disease they had on that planet, which made your head glow.
Next. Okay. Quickly, he shoved the Doctor out of the way and looked down.
Right.
The last drops of the pool of Rassilon had just turned to steam,
and
all that was left was an element.
An element?
I think he's used his kettle.
He's used Dennis Quaid's kettle to defeat the Master.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
He's won with a kettle. Yeah. That is pretty good, actually. I think that's pretty good Doctor Who. He's thought of something really clever but really simple. Rather than using big guns or anything, or shouting like Matt Smith does, he's used something clever in his good old Tom Baker Doctor Who way.
If it had been explained better that there's one bit of water and that's the only bit of water that
it could have done with more setup. Yeah, that there was.
He goes there and he boils it and it's not there anymore. But then the Master's going to be like, I will just wait till it rains, and then I will put this candle out.
Or I will get my bottle of water out.
But Doctor Who's going to be like, but it will never rain because there's no gravity here, because I just dug this water.
Yes, it rains up.
Right, so we're on one of the moons of Gallifrey, the water moon.
Brilliant.
Okay. And Doctor Who has defeated the Master by evaporating a whole lake with a kettle element. Right? So that was an impressive move.
Yeah, but it's a super special kettle element that made by radar.
A lake evaporating kettle element. And the Master is all like, "Oh, Doctor Who, you evaporated my lake. I'll get you next time, Penelope Pitstop," or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So let's get back and see what's going on with them.
Damn you, Doctor, you interfering old fool. As old as you.
Oh.
Damn! The Master threw the candle away, and it drifted off into the starry sky. Oh yeah, because there's no gravity to hold candles down, although they are okay, because they have some kind of magnetic boots or something on this metal moon.
Yeah, they're wearing moon boots.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they are. The Master then drew his gun again. Swiftly, the Doctor kicked it from his hand. And it too floated away. Guns don't stick either.
No, they don't.
The Master ran. The Doctor followed and was nearly on him.
I'm going to do you, Master.
No, he was nearly on him when the evil Master jumped into a crater.
I shall use my jumping powers.
Yes.
Doctor Who.
Seconds later, the crater had gone.
What? Oh,
It's his TARDIS, isn't it? He's disguised his TARDIS as a crater.
Well, he didn't. It's the TARDIS does it itself, doesn't it? Because there's nothing else on the moon apart from craters.
Yeah, makes sense.
Water and, Yeah, just that.
And Doctor Who.
And yeah.
He jumped into Doctor Who.
Who would have been weird, wouldn't it? Suddenly the Master jumped into Doctor Who.
The thing is, I mean, how clever are these chameleon circuits? Because if the Doctor's TARDIS is there,
Yeah.
and the Master's TARDIS turns up and like looks around for things that like characterise this planet, finds that there's nothing there except a pool and a big blue box.
Big TARDIS.
Does it go, okay, I'll turn to a big blue box?
Yeah.
And then the Doctor's like, oh, there are 2 TARDISes here.
I think that, like, if it only saw one TARDIS, it wouldn't think that it was as a regular thing. It would go, that's unique, therefore it's odd, so I'm going to pick something that's more prevalent.
But what if there was nothing except one TARDIS and one pool? How would it choose?
Yeah, well, like it's done, it would pick ground. Or like it would be another massive moon next to it.
Okay, yeah, that makes
The
sense.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be bigger on the inside anymore. It'd
be smaller on the
considerably smaller. It's massive on the outside.
Okay, so we're one paragraph away from the end.
Wow. I can tie it all up in one paragraph. I'm a brilliant writer.
It's just going to end. The Master had been defeated for now. He'd be back. But the Candle of Ever was no longer a threat to the universe. When was it ever? What is the Candle of Ever?
So I think that, like, Dave said in, like, chapter 2 or something, that, like, if you extinguish it by going to some special place, i.e. the third moon of Gallifrey, that it would unleash
Chaos.
But it described a particular form of chaos, like there were some kind of like jelly monsters that are going to like come around and like get you.
But that's not what it is. That's what happens if you put it out.
I know.
What is the Candle of Ever?
Well, it's a candle.
Who made something that if you put... Who made
That's
something
irrelevant.
so delicate as a candle that if you put it out, chaos and jelly monsters
I
escape?
don't know. I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's bad. But I mean, but I think the main point here actually is that like the idea that it's not a threat anymore is wrong because it just floated off, right,
into space where there's no oxygen to keep it alight.
And also wherever that water went, that he like made turn into vapor.
The evaporated water,
The candle is floating around at the same place where the water vapor
is.
There's
no oxygen to keep it alight, and there's water to put it out. Yeah,
basically those jelly monsters are coming. They come pretty soon.
Okay,
that's the sequel though, isn't it?
I think
Doctor
so,
and the jelly monsters.
The vicar finished the prayer.
What? Fuck off. What?
That's the next line.
That's not the next line. That's a different world.
This is the final paragraph, which is also the final section. The Master had been defeated for now.
Yeah.
He'd be back, but the Candle of Ever was no longer a threat to the universe.
Apart from it was, yeah.
The vicar finished the prayer.
Yeah, okay.
And the gathered group raised their heads. Radar had been a good man. Okay,
do you think when they raise
funeral.
But do you think when they raise their heads, it's what I'm thinking is that they can pick them off of their necks and just kind of like lift them in the air?
That bloke earlier was carrying his head around, wasn't he? So it's probably a race of people who can carry
get their heads off, not hold them as high as they can. And the person who can get their head the highest wins.
Wins an extra head.
Yeah.
All right. So Radar had been a good man. The Doctor would not have won without his help in that cupboard.
His element from his kettle, basically.
That's true, actually. Isn't
Although, he didn't invent kettles. I mean, in their universe,
but he did
maybe.
invent carrying them around with you, just in case you need it. And so a special memorial stone stood in remembrance.
That would do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, unusually for
damn those memorial stones.
The Doctor and the other people who had come to pay their respects walked slowly away. No one would forget Radar, especially the Doctor. The end.
Oh, that's nice. Didn't you remember Radar?
Yeah.
He would do though, because didn't somebody like drop his corpse on him at one point in the story? Like fucking hell,
tiny corpse,
shitting hell. Is that the corpse of Radar?
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World.
You!
Oh, you're just going to yell you?
Yeah.
Is that all you've
like,
got?
well, I thought I'd point out to them specifically that we were talking to them, and it wasn't just to everyone.
In case you're listening in your headphones and thinking we might be talking to the person next to you.
I'm just trying to
No, you!
I'm personalising the experience for them.
That's not how you personalise things, by yelling you.
Okay, let me try again.
That's not what that is.
Thanks for listening to what's it called? Thanks for listening to the
Worst
Worst
Writer
Writer in the World podcast, Steve. I hope you enjoyed it, Steve.
Knew you were going
And
to say
Steve, if you'd like some more, Steve, then give us your money.
And only
you can have
Steve.
it.
This is an offer not open to anyone else except Steve.
We'll do one for every name in the alphabet, right?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
So, all right, so let's start with A, Alan. All right.
Alan.
B, Ballon. B, Ballon. All right, C,
I just don't think.
D,
I
Dallin.
just don't think we've got that many listeners called Ballon, Salon, or Dallin, and we're wasting some serious advertising time on them.
Right now, Ballon is crying. Right. Ballon is at home crying while you go, oh, I don't think we've got a listener called Ballon. Even if we do, I don't care about him. Fuck Ballon, quite frankly. Fuck Ballon and Dallin and Fallon.
Yeah.
Fuck them all. But I mean, that's three Secret Gang members that you just lost for us. And Ballon was going to be a great one.
Fuck him. I don't care. Fuck Ballon. You're right.
Another thing you can do when you sign up to Patreon, you can put any name in you want. So if we don't get a subscriber called Ballon this week,
Yeah.
then I'm going to be really disappointed.
Yeah. Agreed.
Go and have a look at all the stuff you could get your ears on just by signing up to our Secret Gang on patreon.com/manbycow for as little as $2 a month with no commitment. So if you don't like it, you can just stop immediately. All right? And I'm happy to say that because I think if you check it out, you will like it because it's value for money and Brillo, right?
Oh, it is more than Brillo. It is Dillo.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye. Milk.
Goodbye, Milk.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.